What you're looking at right now is your only job in life. What you are seeing is the battle you've been fighting ever since you were born. It's the reason why water becomes tea, why gas expands to fill this container, why wood burns, why bridges collapse over time, why friendships become distant, why civilizations exist, why trust takes years to build but an instant to destroy, why your room gets messy in only a couple days, why you lose muscle if you don't train, why you overthink and overcomplicate things, why you can't focus. Some researchers say it's the reason why life exists in the first place. Today, we're going to talk about my favorite concept in all of science, entropy. Because once you understand this to the core of your being, you'll understand why life is so fucking hard. And I don't know, it provides us more clarity on what we're actually doing here. One of my core values is understanding things better. So the more I know about systems, the more problems I can solve and the more value I can bring. I believe entropy is the problem, an infinite set of problems that we will spend the rest of our lives pushing against. And if the theory is true, well, we'll get to that. The second law of thermodynamics states that entropy of the universe is always increasing. But I know this can be a little bit confusing, so let's play a game. We are at the beginning, the lowest entropy state possible in the game. The tower is highly organized. It has repeating patterns of 3 blocks stacked on top of each other in alternating directions. Pretty simple, eh? Each player takes turns to remove 1 block, and the player who causes the tower to fall loses the game. Think about each block as a block of energy. With every block that is removed from the tower, the entropy of the system increases just a little bit. The tower becomes less organized and a little more spread out. As each player takes their turns, the entropy increases until the system reaches a maximum entropy. The tower has fallen into the highest entropy state possible. All the blocks are spread out. The system is now completely disorganized. The game is over, and the blocks will never be organized again. That is until you decide to play another game. Now you take each block and reassemble them, organize them back into the tower. You have reversed the entropy back to its initial state, back to the lowest entropy possible. So what happened here? Did we just break the second law of thermodynamics? Did we just decrease entropy of the system? No, we didn't. The entropy of the local system, the Jenga tower, decreased, but the tower didn't assemble itself. You did. You needed to put the work in. You needed to apply effort to reassemble that tower. That energy you used will never be recovered ever again. And so the entropy of the local system, the tower of Jenga blocks, decreased. But the overall system, the system on a global scale, that has increased. And this is precisely what life does. Big animals eat smaller animals, and smaller animals eat plants. Plants get the energy from the sun. The energy emitted from the sun is in its lowest entropy form, concentrated clumps of energy we call photons. As that energy is transferred from plant to small animal into big animal, the entropy gets larger. The energy spreads out and becomes less useful. Life takes in low entropy energy to organize ourselves and the world around us, decreasing the entropy of the local system, but accelerating the entropy of the global system. Some physicists like Jeremy England says that with a concentrated stream of energy, evolution favors structures that dissipate that energy. In his own words, you start with a random clump of atoms, and if you shine light on it for long enough, it should not be so surprising that you get a plant. So why is this so important for you to understand? Well, when you understand entropy, everything begins to make more sense. Life is hard because the struggle never ends. Entropy is always increasing, which means that you always need to be working to decrease it. The set of problems are infinite because the entropy to reverse is infinite. Humanity is Sisyphus, pushing against the Big Bang. A more intuitive way to write the second law of thermodynamics is everything if let alone tends to become messy and spread out. Here's an example of something that I noticed recently. When I come home from the grocery store, I unpack all the groceries out of the bags, and it always somehow spreads across the entire counter, no matter how much I buy. That's entropy. But then I need to work to decrease it, organizing the food into categories and putting them into their proper place. This is why categories are so important. It is how we fundamentally organize the world and our place within it. Organization and organizations is how we turn chaos into order. But putting things into their correct place requires effort. Without effort, everything falls apart. If you don't maintain your car, one day it won't start. If you don't maintain your room, it gets messy. If you don't maintain your relationships, they fade away. There is no escaping it. Nobody escapes entropy. So where do we start? You start with the entropy in your mind. You have thoughts and emotions swirling around your mind. Desires arise, temptations emerge, distractions appear, anxiety, stress, overthinking. This is entropy inside your mind. You need to organize your thoughts. When Andrew Tate says energy cannot be created nor destroyed, but only transferred into something else, he sees the first law of thermodynamics as a state of mind. You have energy inside of you, chaotic, high entropy energy, but as we have learned, it's not useful in this state. The answer you are looking for will be found in the work you are avoiding. The only way to decrease entropy inside your mind is to do the work. Use that energy and radiate high entropy back out into the world. Take a pen, grab some paper, write. Let the energy flow through your pen and dissipate through the page. Look at what you wrote, restructure it, make sense of it, look for your values, hunt for the why, uncover the problem, develop the solution. If you want to bring order to the chaos inside your mind, you need to get out of your mind and into the world. Another wise man once said, if it's not growing, it's dying. There are really only two pains in life. The pain of staying where you are, or the pain of growth. If you stay where you are, entropy is not offset and you regress. But if you choose the pain of growth, you accept the work that you need to put in. Take bodybuilding for example. A bodybuilder lifts weights over and over and over again, stretching and contracting the muscle. That work in lifting a load organizes the energy and the protein to stimulate muscle protein synthesis, or muscle growth. But if the bodybuilder stops lifting that load, the muscle begins to decay. I think you should always bear in mind, entropy is not on your side. Do you see? Entropy is the universal problem. You can't clean your room just once. If you leave it for a day, that's fine. But a week, a month, a year? Chaos. Everything becomes messy and spread out. The battle between good and evil on a playing field of chaos and order, it's the internal game. This is the game we are playing. Always. Not just once. Always. And it's fucking hard.
The really good people aren't naive. They're tough as they can possibly be, and they've seen things, and then they decide to become good.
It's steadfast. I mean, you have to, I'm realizing that I have to daily show up for myself if I want my life to be what I want it to be.
Right.
It is a battle. Mm-hmm. And not only that, but it's like you have to have some sort of a plan. When I used to be a little bit more aimless, I was just like, I want things to be good. It wasn't enough.
No.
Because things don't know how to just be good.
This is true. All by left to themselves, things go from bad to worse.
I hope you guys are getting the importance of what I'm describing here. The answers you seek will only be found in the work you are avoiding. You need to decide what you want. You need to decide what's important to you. And then you go all in because you're all in anyway. This is the game we're playing and you don't have a choice. If you want a healthy and aesthetic body, you need to create it and maintain it. If you want a meaningful and purposeful career, you need to create it and maintain it. If you want deep and fulfilling relationships, you need to create them and maintain them. When you understand entropy, you understand that destruction is favored over creation. Towers take years to build but seconds to destroy. Forests take centuries to grow but minutes to burn. Trust takes years to build but seconds to destroy. And hard conversations become messy before they become clear. If you have been paying attention, you know how this story ends. As we solve problems, turning chaos into order, we decrease the entropy of the local system, but we increase the entropy of the global system. We are accelerating to the end, to the heat death of the universe. And then the game is over. At the start of the video, I said entropy is the reason why wood burns. You have this super complex structure of hydrogen, carbon, and oxygen atoms just waiting to be set loose. And with just one spark, an irreversible process occurs. A chaotic dance of fire ensues, hurtling to its final state, ashes. Wood is boring, ashes are boring. But what happens in between is spectacular, an intense whirlwind of both destructive and beautiful events. That is life. So chop your wood and keep your fire burning. See you next week.